There comes a moment in every life when the applause fades, the lights dim, and all that's left is you, face to face with a choice that could either break you or build you into something greater. This isn't the moment people post about. It's not the highlight reel. It's the quiet, trembling second when your heart whispers, do I serve, or do I survive? Every great leader you've ever admired has faced that same moment, and it wasn't the world that made them great, it was the decision they made in the silence. Leadership doesn't begin on a stage. It begins in suffering. It's not shaped by victories, but by values chosen in pain. You see, the world celebrates outcomes, but heaven watches decisions. And there is one decision, one core conviction, that separates great leaders from everyone else. It's not a talent, it's not a technique, it's not even a skill. It's a soul-deep, spirit-led choice that echoes through every action they take. So let's go deeper, beyond motivation, beyond hype. Let's talk about the kind of leadership that births legacies, heals nations, lifts broken people, and endures long after the leader is gone. This is not just a video, it's a mirror. Because leadership isn't out there, it's in you, and today, that power is being awakened. The silent struggles of great leaders. Great leaders don't wear their battles on their sleeves. They carry them in their bones. While the world sees their strength, what no one talks about is the pain they pushed through to stand tall. The nights they cried alone. The betrayals that left scars. The moments of deep self-doubt when they wondered, am I enough? But they kept going, not because they were fearless, but because they chose to lead anyway. Leadership often feels like walking through fire with no guarantee of rescue. It's making hard choices when no one understands. It's forgiving when bitterness would be easier. It's showing up when your soul is empty, just so someone else can believe again. Great leaders aren't always the loudest, but they are the ones who bleed in private so others can live in peace. And perhaps you've felt it too, that weight, that isolation. Maybe you've wondered why your journey feels so heavy. But let me tell you something few ever will. Your burden might just be the birth of your leadership. You don't need a crown. You need courage. And that courage is being forged in every struggle you're surviving right now. What leadership is not. We've confused leadership with influence, fame, and image. But leadership isn't having followers. It's being willing to go first, especially when the road is uncertain. Leadership is not about being the most popular voice in the room. It's about being the most grounded soul in the storm. True leaders don't just lead people, they carry them through fire, even when it costs them everything. The world might say, be successful, but real leadership whispers, be sacrificial. It's not about the selfies or the spotlight, it's about service. It's not about building a name, it's about building people. If you're chasing leadership to be seen, you've already missed the point. But if you're willing to serve when no one's watching, you're already walking in greatness. When ego dies, leadership is born. When applause stops mattering, true impact begins. The world doesn't need more influencers, it needs intercessors. People who will stand in the gap, break generational chains, and love even when they're unloved. That's what leadership is, not position, not power, purpose in motion. The identity crisis of today's generation. We live in a time where people know how to promote themselves, but don't know how to find themselves. There's a generation confused by applause, chasing after purpose like it's a product to buy, not a process to grow through. And so many feel lost, exhausted from pretending, tired of performing. They crave meaning, but don't know where to begin. This is the identity crisis of modern leadership. But true leaders are not created through recognition, they're formed in reflection. You don't find your calling by going viral. You find it in the valley, where no one is watching, but everything inside you is waking up. Leadership doesn't begin with a crowd, it begins with clarity. Who are you when no one's cheering? What do you stand for when standing costs you everything? Before you can ever lead others, you must lead yourself, through your pain, your trauma, your fears. That's the first battle, and for many of us, that's the hardest one. But hear this truth, The world doesn't need perfect leaders. It needs authentic ones. Leaders who have faced their own darkness and now carry light. That's you. You are not too lost to lead. You are being refined to redefine what leadership looks like. The one decision that changes everything. Here it is, the moment, the line, the choice. The one decision that defines every great leader. The decision to serve others above self. That's it. The world was changed not by the most powerful, but by those who chose to serve when it was hard, when it was costly, and when no one said thank you. This is the decision that separates leaders from legends. It's not glamorous, it's not Instagram worthy, but it is world shaking. Because when a person lays down their ego to lift others, that's when kingdoms rise. That's when legacies are born. Serving others is not weakness, it's the ultimate strength. It says, I will not build for myself while others are broken. I will not rise alone. This decision changes everything. It changes how you lead your family, how you show up in your work, how you treat those who can't repay you. It shifts your life from self-seeking to purpose-driven. And once you make this decision, truly, deeply, it will change how the world experiences you. Forever. The cost of true leadership. The decision to serve sounds noble, until it demands everything. Until it asks you to give when you're empty, to forgive when you're hurting, to stay when you'd rather run. Real leadership costs. It costs comfort, convenience, and sometimes the people who once clapped for you. But here's the secret. What you lose in ease, you gain in eternal impact. The greatest leaders in history didn't lead from thrones, they led from trenches. They endured betrayal, ridicule, loneliness. But still, they chose the higher road. Why? Because they weren't living for applause, they were living for purpose. They understood that you can't lead people you're trying to impress, you can only lead those you're willing to serve. And maybe that's where you are now, feeling the weight, wondering if it's worth it. But let me assure you, the cost is real, but so is the reward. When your leadership is born in love, not ego, you won't just change your life, you'll change generations. The battle within. Before any leader defeats enemies outside, they must conquer the enemies within. The fear of rejection, the hunger for validation, the wounds of the past that whisper, you're not good enough. These are the real battles, and they're fought in silence, every morning, every night, in the stillness of our souls. It's easy to pretend, to perform, but the true mark of a great leader is inner honesty. Facing your flaws, admitting your weaknesses, and surrendering your pride. That kind of transparency builds a strength no title can give. Because once you stop hiding, you start healing. And once you start healing, you become a safe place for others to do the same. If you're in that battle now, don't run from it. Embrace it. Leadership isn't about perfection, it's about transformation. The more you win within, the more powerful your influence becomes. You don't have to be whole to lead, but you do have to be willing to heal. The power of listening. We often think leaders must have all the answers, but the greatest ones know how to listen. They listen deeply, to pain, to unspoken fears, to the hearts of the people around them. In a noisy world full of shouting, listening is a superpower. It's what builds trust. It's what brings healing. Listening isn't just hearing words, it's feeling someone's soul. It's pausing your own ego long enough to say, I see you. I hear you. You matter. And when people feel heard, they rise. They believe again. One listening ear can save a life. One moment of compassion can unlock a destiny. So if you want to lead well, start here. Ask questions. Sit with silence. Be present. Because the one who listens leads people not just to solutions, but to hope. And hope is the soil where every great leader plants their legacy. Leading through pain. There's a lie that says leaders must always be strong. But some of the greatest leadership happens when you're broken. When your heart is shattered, but you show up anyway. When you're grieving, but you still lift others. That kind of leadership doesn't come from pride. It comes from love. Pain can either harden you or humble you. Great leaders choose humility. They let their wounds become wisdom. They let their tears become rivers of compassion. They lead through the pain, not around it. And because of that, their leadership is not just powerful, it's healing. If you're leading in pain right now, know this: your strength is not in how you hide it. Your strength is in how you let it shape you into someone deeper, wiser, kinder. You don't have to be unshaken to lead. You just have to keep walking, with grace, with truth, and with open hands. Legacy over likes. In a digital world obsessed with likes, it's easy to forget that leadership isn't measured by moments, it's measured by legacy. What will outlive you? Who will rise because of you? What values will echo through the lives you've touched? Real leaders aren't chasing trends, they're building timeless truths into people's hearts. They don't just leave memories, they leave movements. Because their decisions are rooted in eternity, not ego. They're not addicted to attention. They're committed to impact. So ask yourself, am I building for now or for forever? Am I shaping a life that shines even in darkness? The one decision to serve others above self rewires your life around purpose. And purpose always leaves footprints that generations follow. The weight of responsibility. Leadership is not a badge, it's a burden. It means you carry the weight of others' hopes. It means your decisions affect more than just you. That's why great leaders are slow to speak, quick to think, and even quicker to love. They don't take the platform lightly. Responsibility means showing up even when it's inconvenient. It means protecting others, standing for truth, and making sacrifices in silence. It means being misunderstood, sometimes even attacked, but still choosing to lead with integrity. Because real leaders don't run from the weight, they rise to meet it. And if you're feeling the weight today, know this: it's not crushing you, it's crafting you. The responsibility is shaping you into someone the world desperately needs. Not a hero, a human with a heart large enough to carry hope for others. Awakening the leader within you. You don't need a title to be a leader. You don't need a crowd. You don't even need permission. The only thing you need is a decision. The moment you decide to live for others more than yourself, you become a leader. In your home, in your school, in your community, right where you are. Leadership begins the moment you say, I will be the difference I've been waiting for. That shift awakens something powerful inside you. It silences fear, it stirs courage, it brings purpose to pain. Because now, your life is not just about you. It's about who will be healed because you chose to rise. You are not here by accident. You are here because something inside you knows you were meant for more. You were born to lead, not for fame, but for freedom. Not to be followed, but to free others. And that journey begins right now. The call to serve. So here we are, full circle. The decision is yours. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. Will you live for self, or for service? Will you choose comfort, or courage? Will you chase validation, or embrace vision? The call to leadership is not loud, but it is life-changing. Every great movement started with someone who said, I will serve. And today, that someone can be you. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs people who are willing to kneel before they rise. People who are brave enough to love first, forgive fast, and carry others through darkness. If you make that decision today, if you choose to lead by serving, you'll never be the same. Because once your life becomes about lifting others, you are lifted too. Welcome to true leadership. Welcome to your calling. The world is waiting.
Maybe today you saw yourself in these words. In the silent struggles, the sleepless nights, the weight you carry without applause. If this video stirred something in your spirit, don't let it end here. Share it with someone else who's walking through fire and needs to know they're not alone. Leave a comment below with the words, I choose purpose over popularity, to declare your commitment to the kind of leadership that heals, serves, and endures. And if you're ready to go deeper, if you want more messages that don't just motivate but awaken your soul, subscribe, because this isn't just a video. This is a movement, and your leadership story is just beginning.